My fear is that all that we anticipated would happen in the event of Western intervention, refugees, state collapse, ramifications across the Sunni-Shia divide in the Middle East, all those things are happening with Western non-intervention. I mean, the irony is the West are the only people not intervening in the Syria conflict. The Russians are there, the Iranians are there, the Saudis are there, the Qataris are there. And so there's a very big choice to be made. I'm afraid it's not about small arms, because in the end, Syria is awash with small arms. There's a much bigger choice that the US, Britain, others have to address. I think the Prime Minister's instinct is that you need to do something big, not small, but he's obviously feeling very, very constrained at the moment.
What do you mean by big? I mean, do you mean missiles and
no, I don't think it's about missiles. But look, 18 months ago, the Turks put on the table no-fly zone, and since then the Syrian Air Force has been bombing its own people. And so it seems to me, as an outsider who doesn't have access to the military dossiers or to the intelligence anymore, that if there is to be Western intervention, it needs to be one that shifts the balance of power. Because my real fear is that non-intervention means this Assad regime is going to go on killing people for 2 or 3 years, more. And all that we fear about the collapse of the country, even if the opposition eventually inherit, is going to be there. And Syria will dissolve in front of our eyes. And if the state structure of the heart of the Middle East collapses, my God, we're going to be dealing with the consequences for a long time to come.
But to what extent are we hamstrung by the Iraq legacy? Which, you know, we must remember is a war you supported.
Yeah, I've spoken about this, that in, I think, 2009, I gave the Aung San Suu Kyi a lecture in Oxford, and I talked about the legacy of Iraq being a due humility about what can go wrong, not in actually the conflict, but in building the peace. But if it means that we learn the wrong lessons, you've got to learn the lessons of Bosnia alongside the lessons of Iraq. And it is a terrible irony that the only people not intervening in Syria is the West.
Do you think it's because of Iraq?
I think Iraq is part of it, definitely. And there is a due humility because more has gone wrong as a result of the Iraq intervention than has gone right. And I think it's important, you know, I was schools minister in 2003, and I read the Hans Blick's dossier, and we can go back over that another time. What I think counts is that an honest balance sheet says more has gone wrong than has gone right. The toll of life and consequence is there. But if a consequence is that we end up with more Bosnias, then we can't be learning the right lessons.